Oshinoko's greatest strength is being able to say the quiet part out loud about not only just the manga, anime, light novel industry, but you look at season 1, the actual boldness of being honest about the idol and toxicity of the idol industry, something that really isn't talked about. It's most publications wouldn't want to expose a lot of the truths about the creepiness of the almost obsession of that type of stuff. And over the course of season 1, especially when we got into that adaptation of a very beloved series, which was given a Death Note live action level adaptation, they touched upon some things that were not usually seen in this medium. And here's the thing about what we're currently dealing with. And as I said last week, you can empathize with both sides, both on the scriptwriter side, the screenplay writer, the idea that he truly was listening to what was told and tried to implement these changes, but when you have the game of telephone, it manipulates everything, and now he's getting tossed to the curb. You have an author who's clearly passionate, and she has every right to be passionate, but here's the thing. Just because you're a talented manga doesn't mean you're going to be a talented screenplay writer. And very clearly, someone who was passionate and, was taking into consideration set design, actors, and all these things, it's going to crash even if she has the time. She doesn't even have the time. She's behind on her own deadlines because she doesn't even have an assistant. And why doesn't she have an assistant? Because no one matches her standards. And at the end of the day, a lot of her issues stem from her lack of communication. For a lot of introverted people, especially as introverted as her, it's frustrating to see her mentor, her teacher, be so extroverted and have no problem talking with anyone and being the light of the room, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, everyone can know that all of those people that she fired, maybe a handful were truly not fit for her manga. If she knew how to properly guide and teach people, she could have taught them to fit her style perfectly. It's literally currently happening with the Berserk manga, even though the author is no longer with us. Those people that were trained under him, it's possible. And to just have this breakthrough moment of the frustration, both as a creator and a fan, to see her teacher, her mentor's work get so butchered, and obviously not want that to happen to her, but also needing to get that frustration out and just expose that at the end of the day, the anime industry isn't sustainable. The manga industry isn't sustainable. Honestly, in a healthy, perfect world, the length of a weekly chapter would be released once a month. And a lot of fans don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Even a monthly series with like 60 pages, 40 to 60 pages, even that is hell on earth. And the fact that it just really exposes that all these creators out there just are constantly killing themselves to make the best version, but then even when they're fully in control, as, she gets exposed, you just made this one ship because the fandom wanted it. What happened to the fun? Okay, sure, you got better art, you got better this or that, but I have a more fun series. It's just to expose all that on a silver platter and have such heated debates. It's very clear this is about to be the best Oshinoko arc, and I don't think that's going to be up for discussion. Now, of course, I do have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full uncut thoughts on any of these episodes. It's going to be over there exclusively. I'm loving this, and even if things frustrate me watching an episode like this, I love that it frustrates me. I want to be frustrated by the anger, the stress of what's going on, because that's honestly where the show shines. Who ends up with who truly likes who, that's, it's some good stuff. But the core thing that really makes me love this show is how it explores industries and sides to these industries in ways I know lots about the anime manga industry and all that, so this isn't anything new for me. But I do love seeing it explore like this. But stuff like the idol stuff and actually really breaking down, reality TV, researching stuff and just learning and being damn, they're shining a spotlight on this stuff that is just so toxic at the end of the day. There's no other way to put it. The idea that, I think for a lot of people coming out of last week's episode, I think even the people who are yep, I'm so much happier that the mangaka is going to be doing this. It's going to be so much better. Ignoring the clearly red flags that there's very few people who are just a naturally born scriptwriter who can translate their ideas from a manga page to a live action stage. Just even assuming they thought it was going to work out, how are they going to have time to do that if they have a currently weekly manga? If it was monthly, maybe there was a potential for the deadlines to be met. But had her mentor not come over, she would have met her deadline, and it would have been a spiral. 100% it would have. The thing I'm really excited for is the fact that she's going to the play that our boy Aqua ended up going to at the start of this episode. Basically a bit of homework, probably to see, okay, this is what a good, adaptation of something clearly is. And if she actually does know of the source material, I'm interested to see if she'll notice, like, oh, there is some changes or this or that. It could be a good learning experience, but at the end of the day, the only way for this to properly succeed is if the original person who worked on the script and the screenplay and the author have a direct line of communication. Now, there are things that the author is going to have to budge on because it is a different medium. It can't just work page to stage. It can't. There is different things, the runtime and everything like that. You have extra elements you don't in a manga. While sure, you have pictures, you can also get across a lot more with good actors' facial expressions that you don't need dialogue, so you can skim on that to let other characters talk, so you can still get all that characterization. It's stuff that sometimes these authors or even fans don't think of. But yes, if there are these massive butchering changes, I'm sure there is a way to reach a middle ground. The unfortunate thing is, timeline-wise, it ain't looking good. My assumption is she will probably make something. And I think she's going to be a little more open-minded, and she'll probably make something that, she tries her best, but it ain't going to be good. And then at some point, they're going to have a conversation. She might pull back a bit, let him do a bit more, and we'll probably make something that both sides can be happy. Because obviously the fear of watching your beloved, senpai, the greatest manga from your point of view, get one of the worst adaptations possible. The fear of that happening to you and the disgrace of seeing it, I understand. And I think this was a very good episode that I think when you really look at episode 1 to episode 2 to episode 3, it is a steady ass climb so far. I don't know if it will continuously just keep climbing or eventually will reach a point where it just remains at that quality. But I don't think this arc is going to go downhill. I really suspect this is going to be the best arc that we've seen so far, which is actually saying a hell of a lot between all the amazing ones we did get over the course of season 1. Either way though, I absolutely adored what we got in this week's episode. It frustrates you, it makes you heated, and honestly, I hope this show never stops saying the quiet part out loud, because I love the fact that we have a manga, an anime that is just, it truly does expose things. And I think for a lot of people who maybe don't know a lot of the inner workings of this industry, stuff like this might actually be like surprise. You'll probably think, oh no, it's probably not that bad. Oh, it absolutely is. It 100% is. And that's why if you ever do see things go on break, rather than getting upset, just understand, if they didn't, who knows what would happen to some people's health. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode down below. Do you agree with me that the show's just getting better each week? Let me know. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alrighty, so today we got Jeffo369, Game Senpai, Burn, Isao Cicero, Michael Meadows, and we also have Watson. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.